It's 5:30. I'd like to call a meeting of the Water and Sewer Bipartisan Committee to order.
A second.
Excellent. Roll call. I'm Michelle McHugh. I'm the chair of the Water and Sewer Bipartisan Committee.
Dan Cochiola. Joe Chabot.
The way this will work is we will call each of you up in the order in which your application was received. We've got 4 questions to ask, and we'll give you about 5 minutes in total to answer the questions. And then after that, you are free to leave, and we'll call the next person up. Half of the interviews will be done today, half of them will be done tomorrow, and we plan on making our decision tomorrow based on the 2 days of interviews. Thank you. And we're going to take turns asking the questions. I'd like to call Michael Valezzo.
Right here.
Yeah, right there would be good.
Okay.
Do you want to just talk, your microphone's on, perfect. And thank you all for coming, we do appreciate your involvement. Question 1, Michael, how would you approach this role in a fair and unbiased way, especially as the committee sorts through information and perspectives that may be conflicting?
So I think it's important to base all decisions based on the facts, being transparent about where you're going with everything, and what's in the best interest of the town. I feel like I will have a lot to learn. I want to understand the financial needs, the operational needs. I think that's all important before you start basing decisions. And I think it's also important to be willing to change your position as more information comes on.
Excellent, thank you.
The second question is, can you walk us through your weekly availability and your availability to commit steady time to this committee through February of 2026?
Sure. So I'm fortunate to work and live in Watertown. I live right on Sylvan Lake and I work right across the bridge, so 3-minute commute is pretty excellent. I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. In my role, I can adjust my hours as needed. It shouldn't be a problem. We're really committed to prioritizing this.
So number 3 is relevant background and skills. The question is, what experiences or skills do you have, professional or volunteer, that would help you review materials, analyze issues, and contribute to the committee's recommendations?
So I have about 20 years management and HR experience throughout different types of companies, so I'm pretty used to operations, profit and loss statements, things like that. Currently, I'm the head of human resources for Northeast Transportation, which is Connecticut Transit Water Division. We're contracted by the Department of Transportation of Connecticut, so I'm pretty familiar with a lot of their processes, their audits, and in my role, a lot of creation of policies and procedures while complying with the legal side of it as well, and enforcement.
Question 4, in your own words, what do you understand about the Waterbury Water and Sewer lawsuit and the reasons this committee is being formed?
Sure, so high level, for decades, Watertown paid Waterbury to provide sewer and water services to the town. 2018, I believe, Waterbury informed Watertown they would have to start paying the Waterbury rate, which Watertown thought was unfair because that covers their infrastructure, that Watertown really shouldn't be paying into. There was a legal aspect to that, and due to interest and penalties, it became a $30.6 million payment to close that out from Watertown to Waterbury. The town committee voted for this to make sure it's all fully reviewed, and I think the committee's work is going to be pretty important to create policy procedures and safeguards to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excellent, thank you.
Sure.
Just give us a minute to make our notes and we'll call the next one up.
Liz, thanks for coming out today. Appreciate your time. I'm gonna start with the first question. How would you approach this role in a fair and unbiased way, especially as the committee sorts through information and perspectives that may be conflicting?
It's really about fact finding, right, and discovering what you did then and what happened and what transpired, and I don't actually know what material we're gonna be able to review or interview of people. But all of those things, in my opinion, are pertinent to investigating it down to the level that we need to understand what went wrong, why did it go wrong, and how do we prevent it going forward.
Thank you.
Liz, can you walk us through your weekly availability and your ability to commit steady time to this committee through February 2026?
I'm completely available because I'm retired. But I'd actually like to understand what, I know it's 30 to 40 hours commitment, but what days of the week, and I think the email I received was Mondays. How many hours on Mondays? Can you give me any, do you have any of that detail?
It would more than likely be 1 to 2 hours.
I definitely have the availability, so that's not the issue. I was just trying to understand, so I can schedule my life around it.
So the committee will meet 1 to 2 hours, but I think as you mentioned in your answer to the first question, there's going to be work that might occur in terms of researching or interviewing.
Yep.
That's unpredictable.
Yeah, and that's fine. Again, I'm retired, so it's not like I have anything to say.
What experiences or skills do you have, professional or volunteer, that would help you review materials, analyze issues, and contribute to the committee's recommendations?
Sure. So my whole career was in IT, and I was, different titles, but they all basically did the same thing. It was service delivery to our customers, and if we delivered a project that didn't go as planned, or the customer, we didn't meet that expectation, my job was to work with the customer and our technicians to kind of figure out what happened and what we could do as a company to either rectify it or actually just convince the customer, yeah, no, your perception might be slightly wrong, and this is the way it actually happened. Perception and reality are two different things. We call these postmortems. We did these almost on every project we did internally. We always did a postmortem on an infrastructure project we did for our own company. But we'd always do them at the end of a client's project as well. Risks, what did we learn? What did we do great? What did we not do so great on? Can we do something better next time? And then we develop policy and procedure around that.
All right, Liz, the fourth question, in your words, what do you understand about the water and sewer lawsuit and the reasons this committee is being formed?
I think the reason the committee is being formed is to prevent the cost to the town that we've incurred. I have a rudimentary understanding of this. Waterbury decided to raise their rates, and Watertown decided that that was an unfair practice and decided to pay the current rate and then filed, went to legal counsel, and they felt we had a lawsuit and that our probability was good on winning it. Obviously, that's not what happened. I don't have enough fact to know exactly the details behind why we felt that way or not, and I think that's part of what this role is here to do. So.
Very good.
Excellent.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you. Giordano.
Good evening.
Good evening.
David, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me today.
David, how would you approach this role in a fair and unbiased way, especially as the committee sorts through information and perspectives that could be conflicting?
With my past 20 years' experience, I've taken on many roles as a public water system operator. I have 20 years' experience as that. I'm class 2. I've seen a lot of things with transfers of water companies to from private ownerships. I've been on many projects. I've designed and built public water supply systems myself. And I have a very good understanding of how the system works from the top down to the operators. So, with my experience, I think I can look at this as an unbiased person because I can look at the role of most everybody that plays a role in this through finance, through ownership, and responsibilities. You know, I delegated responsibilities for many years, and you know, I feel this would be a good opportunity for me to show that as a volunteer.
Can I ask a follow-up question? During the last 20 years, did you work for either the Watertown Water Department or the Waterbury Water Department?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Can you walk us through your weekly availability and your ability to commit steady time to this committee through February 2026?
Yes. That sounds like an easy task. I'm retired, and my availability is Monday through Friday, 7 to 5 p.m., 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Emergency meetings will be fine. You know, I could pretty much show up and, you know, give information out or receive information, pass information, anything that's needed for this committee. I don't think February 26th is a long time, so I think it would be quite easy for me.
So would you be available at 5:30, 6 o'clock when the committee meets?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Third question, David, is what experience or skills do you have, professional or volunteer, that would help you review materials, analyze issues, and contribute to the committee's recommendations?
Thank you. For the last 20 years, I've worked as a public water system operator, class 2, and distribution and treatment facility operator. I also design and build these systems for small water systems. I've seen many systems and contributing to the full renovation of many systems. I've operated a connection between Beaufort and Brookfield with their water, so I was installing meters at that end, which was most likely the most important part of what we are probably looking at is possibly unmetered water. I would just imagine that had to happen, that no one actually knows. So I would be able to bring in some real experience where, you know, I could explain to maybe you guys as a group what is actually possibly taking place on a road, you know, and why, and can we make it better? I mean, I do travel in Watertown, I live in Watertown. I see a lot of things that I don't like, but I don't clearly understand why that had to happen, why we just paved the road, and why a week later we're digging it back up. So, I know this doesn't have anything to do, but those are the kinds of questions I'm basically wondering, you know, that you know, some people need to, you know, I would like to know things like that, why things happen in certain ways. Because with my experience, I can tell you, I've probably seen it all. You know, I was the operator for the Washington, Connecticut system, New Preston system, many systems throughout Brookfield. I was in transition of private Brookfield water was transitioning to aquarium water. I was on the committees of that end of it. So, that's basically the experience I can bring. And I can help explain things.
Excellent. David, thank you.
Okay. Was that four?
Nope, one more. So just in your own words, talk to us about your understanding of the Waterbury Water and Sewer lawsuit and the reasons this committee is being formed.
I live on Hamilton Avenue, so I have my own water, my own septic. So I have no skin in the game here, to say. I haven't read much on it, on this, what actually happened. But what I could bring is, I don't really know anything really going on, except it was really bad, there's $30 million. What committees, how did this happen? I think that's not for me to figure out, but I think what I can help you guys do is I think we can help you organize in a way where something like this would be unlikely to happen again. And I think I can bring that as an unbiased look at things, and I would say, if you don't choose me, take these words seriously, because I think water meter is the only way to get out of these problems. You have to know where your water is going. So, I think that's what I can do.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You as well. Jeffrey Cheney.
Hello.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you for letting me be here.
How would you approach this role in a fair and unbiased way, especially as the committee sorts through information and perspectives that may be confusing?
Well, I think it's important to understand that everybody has bias one way or another, so it's committing to removing that. That's first and foremost. The other side of it is looking at facts and evidence as opposed to opinions, and using that as a basis for moving forward.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Second question is, can you walk us through your weekly availability and your ability to commit steady time to this committee through February 2026?
Sure. I run and own my own companies, so I make up my schedule as I go. So it's very easy for me to be available whenever it's necessary. Of course, really.
Thank you for that.
What experience or skills do you have, professional or volunteer, that would help you review materials, analyze issues, and contribute to the committee's recommendations?
I've worked as a certified public accountant for the last 30 years. I own two national firms, a consulting firm and a development company. So I spend almost every day reviewing high-level analyticals for not only for my companies, but for my clients. A lot of sensitive information, analyzing it, detailing it, sitting in boardrooms, developing policy. I mean, this is basically what I do every single day.
In your own words, what do you understand about the Waterbury Water and Sewer lawsuit and the reasons this committee is being formed?
Sure. Waterbury raised the rates. Water the town didn't like it, didn't pay it. It was litigated, lost, appeals lost, and now we have a big judgment that we are responsible for. And the purpose of this committee is to help develop policy so that this doesn't happen again.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, John.
Matthew Parenti. Tabitha Young. Alan Nichol.
Well, 95 Woodbine Avenue, which is December. What that got you saying? Well, I've got some easy questions for you if you don't mind.
Well, can we start with ours first, and then we'll
If
see
you
if
let me
we have
get mine
time?
in, that would be fine. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Alan. First question is, how would you approach this role in a fair and unbiased way, especially as the committee sorts through information and perspectives that may be conflicting?
I have no preconceived notions. I've heard a lot, so one way or the other. I have no idea where the truth lies. But I do have an interesting fact. I got my water and sewer bill. It's lower than last year. So I'm certainly got no preconceived notions about the billing process.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Al, can you walk us through your availability to commit to steady time to the committee through February 2026?
Maybe that one's basic. Okay, I attend many town committee meetings. I'm on two committees, the Park and Rec Committee and the Commission on Aging. And also I'm a member of the UNICO. We have meetings and special dinners we serve to people. I also attend the Democratic and Independent Party town committee meetings. And I am retired. Okay, so I can make time, okay, because I do have some free time. So it's basic.
What experiences or skills do you have, professional or volunteer, that would help you review materials, analyze issues, and contribute to the committee's recommendations?
Well, I said I was retired from retired from IBM with 30 years experience. There I was a manager of 15 to 20 people, and I think at the time, IBM was one of the best managed company in the world. But that was 30 years ago. I was elected to the town council in 1993. I have not been elected since. I've lost plenty of elections since then. But since then, I've had an associate degree in design and drafting, and I designed pilots for the island industry, shaft for the converting industry, aircraft seating cushions, which I'm not going to take a lot of credit for. So I have a lot of relevant experience in town. I've paid attention for the last several decades, and I come to most every town committee meeting. I listen to what's going on, and that's what I got. somebody made a bad decision and no one told them on it for, I don't know, 5, 6, 10, 15 years. You should say somebody or a group of people to make a bad decision.
Very good.
What do you have for us?
These are easy ones. Will these meetings be open to the public?
Yes.
Will they be Zoomed?
I don't know the answer to that. I'm not sure. They will be recorded. I don't know whether they'll be Zoomed.
Well, my wife wants to know where I am and she checks in.
We can send you home with a note.
Now, will your committee or our committee have a budget? And the reason I ask that question is, we might have to hire a lawyer and not the town lawyer. So will there be a budget? I hope there will be. I'm not sure if you can answer the question.
At this point, there is not. It's going to be up to the committee to decide who will be interviewed and who will be interviewed.
Okay.
So we'll see where that goes.
Now, these things here says you can't talk bad about people. So during these meetings, you're certainly going to call people and have them discuss details about a mistake or mistakes being made. And it says here you shouldn't do that. How are we going to get around that?
Well, what we're looking to do is really gather information from individuals who were involved. And the whole purpose, to put in safeguards so it doesn't happen again.
So you're going to have to talk to people and they're going to have to say what they know about who made the mistake.
Right. Well, facts can be stated, but decorum must be maintained, and it doesn't, and facts can be stated without it being a personal attack on somebody's integrity.
Well, the personal attack, I can understand.
Yeah.
I would say he's stupid or something.
Right, exactly.
Okay, but he made that decision. It's not criticism.
As long as it's facts, we want to hear facts.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Adam Simonson. Hi, Adam. Thank you for coming.
Good evening, how are you?
Good evening, Adam. Thanks for being here. My turn, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. So, question one, how would you approach your role in a fair and unbiased way, especially as the committee sorts through information and perspectives that may be conflicting?
Yeah. So professionally, I'm a civil engineer by background. I work for a water wastewater consulting firm. And run the finance and management consulting practice for that. So I spend my days professionally solving these kinds of problems, right? And you're always going back and trying to understand, quite frankly, what are the facts, right? And then how were decisions made based on those facts, and whether there were sort of gaps or leaps being made, et cetera. So, I think in general, when you look at municipal run utilities, right, one of the things you have to do is figure out how to make non-political decisions as you're doing that. So it's just sort of part of the course from my perspective.
And you said you work for a Waterbury company?
No, it's a water wastewater
Oh, water
consulting firm.
waste, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
great, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through your weekly availability and your ability to commit steady time to the committee through February 2026?
Yeah. So I think you're talking about doing in-person meetings in the evenings. It's a general meeting schedule. Yeah, and I can make that work. I have a pretty busy schedule, but obviously I have a lot of time. And generally can, make things work. Certainly if there's a, published meeting schedule.
Mhm.
I guess to follow up,
experience or skills do you have, professional or volunteer, that would help you review materials, analyze issues, and contribute to the committee's recommendations?
I mean, I think I kind of hit on some of that. Like I said, I have a civil engineering degree, an MBA, a finance concentration. I've been in the water wastewater business 25 plus years, and do a lot of rate work. I do a lot of contract negotiation support for utilities, a lot of bonding, sort of finance work, and just sort of general management consulting for utilities. So.
Thank you.
Great, so in your own words, what do you understand about the water and sewer lawsuit and the reasons this committee is being formed?
I mean, if you get a big picture, right, there was a wholesale water contract that expired, right, Waterbury, Watertown, never agreed on terms, to renew that contract, to do that. And so Waterbury's remedy to that was to sue the town, and the town made some decisions to continue to sort of fight that lawsuit, unable to reach a settlement, and sort of continue to appeal that, right, and we ended up, ultimately losing all those appeals, right, so I think the hard part is I think it's really hard I think it's very easy to Monday morning quarterback decisions made by elected officials, right, who are part-time trying to sort these things out. So I think fundamentally what we want to try to do with this committee is put the right processes in place that give the elected officials more support to be able to make more informed decisions. And then I think ultimately there's a general feeling there's a lack of transparency in how some of those decisions were made. So let's figure out what is the right procedures going forward that can, certainly give more transparency or at least fix the perception that there wasn't transparency there as well. So I don't know the answer to all that, but I think that's the work of the committee should hopefully be able to do.
Thank you.
Excellent, Maria, thank you.
Thomas Clark? Thank you for coming tonight. How would you approach this role in a fair and unbiased way, especially as the committee sorts through information and perspectives that may be conflicting?
The same way to everything is relatively objectively looking at the facts, looking at the anything that you give me to read that I can pursue, and basically just drill down and try to figure out and follow what happened. I'm not an argumentative person by nature, and I tend to probably be a little bit too deferential. You guys are the three chiefs, so to speak, in this situation. So you're taking the lead. My role would be subordinate there too, but supportive to the point of researching and following up anything that you possibly might say, hey, this might take 2 hours to read, can you do this? And give us a summary. Absolutely. Which is what I do for a living. I teach at NYU, and it's kind of part and parcel, as that guy said, part and parcel of what I do. And by the way, I came in when Al was talking, and I think you should hire him.
Thank you.
No, there's no money involved. So. Not to make light of anything, but that's.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you guys are walking into something that's going to be. There will be some headwinds. Probably not turbulent water, but some headwinds, and you will want a little humor as you go along.
Thank you. Thomas, can you walk us through your weekly availability and your ability to commit steady time to this committee through February 2026?
I'm available anytime. I was late tonight because I was standing appointment on Monday evenings with a Spanish tutor, and I teach Wednesday evenings at NYU, but I can adjust those evenings of those Wednesdays depending on what your priorities are here. I'll be between semesters at the beginning of throughout January and beginning February. I pick up again, but I can adjust those evenings, depending upon necessity.
So you're standing Monday.
That I can adjust as well. That's nothing to hold back. I am a member of the school capital committee, which meets the second Wednesday of every month. Bob Porter he's a relatively forgiving guy. This is something important, more important perhaps than this thing if we're doing it on Wednesday. He would understand that. And Donna Ford always gives us, copious reading material in advance, so I can always go through that and say, hey, this looks good to me.
Thank you.
Question 3, what experiences or skills do you have, professional or volunteer, that would help you review materials, analyze issues, and contribute to the committee's recommendations?
Well, that's what I do. I read, analyze, synthesize, make short forms of long form reportage. And it's something I generally do without fear of political consequences, because it's strictly reporting. I don't have to worry about politics. This is a situation where there's some, I think, some toes that will be stepped on, or might very well be stepped on. That's somebody else's foot. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of what it is that you're asking me to read and research. Not that I'm going to go out of my way to stomp on somebody's foot. That's not the deal. But on the other hand, if somebody's got a foot out there that needs to be tripped over, I'm going to say, I need to see what's underneath that foot so I can read that. So if
Question,
that foot is hiding something, is what I'm saying.
I understand.
question 4. In your own words, what do you understand about the Waterbury Water and Sewer lawsuit and the reasons this committee is being formed?
My feeling is that the committee is being put together to find out what went wrong and basically try to make sure that there's something that's put in place, not a remedy, but a plan, a process whereby we can make sure that the town doesn't fall into the same trap again. No pun intended with trap, water and sewer, referred to. But, to be sure that we don't, wind up owing $34 million to Waterbury again for no very good reason. So it's, I'm in this town, my wife and I are here for 2 years and 2 months, maybe 2 years and a month. So I wasn't privy to any of this before. I had no idea what was going on, or we probably would have thought twice about, wait a minute, what are we walking into here? This is a situation. We have a well and septic ourselves, so we're relatively outside of that tax bracket. So that might give me more objectivity than other people would enjoy, if I could use that verb. So I think I'm
that sounds fair. Great.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second that.
All in favor?